Hey everyone, welcome to the episode 31 breakdown. We're still trying to process everything that happened, so we thought it'd be fun to kind of go over some of the biggest moments with all of you.
I've got to say, between those vanishing star clusters and the sentient black holes, this has got to be one of our wildest episodes yet.
Well, it is Intergalactic Insider. I mean, you never know what to expect.
Yeah.
But for those of you who haven't seen it yet, let's do a quick recap. We talked about entire star clusters disappearing without a trace, and we also stumbled upon the possibility that mirrors could actually be interdimensional portals. And we even got a glimpse into the crazy world of interspecies roommates. Plus, a whole lot more.
Yeah, we even had a wyvern pop out of a broken mirror right here in the studio. Talk about a close call.
Oh, don't remind me. But you know what really got people talking? It was those eerie Morse code messages. You know, the ones we intercepted that seemed to be connected to the disappearing stars. Like the great devourer or hungers. How creepy is that?
It's definitely unsettling, especially when you consider that the Galactic Federation is being so secretive about the whole thing. It makes you wonder what they know that they aren't telling us.
Right. Their silence is definitely suspicious. And let's not forget about the other cryptic message. Stars are the seeds? I mean, it's so vague, but it feels important somehow, don't you think?
Definitely. It does seem like there's a hidden meaning in there somewhere, something that we just haven't grasped yet. Maybe it's a clue about what or who this great devourer really is.
Good point. And then there's the whole space-time instability issue. Imagine what that means for space travel. If space-time itself isn't reliable, then our maps, our navigation systems, even our understanding of safe travel routes could be totally wrong.
Exactly. Imagine thinking you're taking a shortcut through a wormhole and you end up in a completely different dimension or a different time period, all because of those space-time tremors.
That's terrifying. I think I'll stick to local space travel for now. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit, and let's talk about the mirrors. Apparently, those old antique mirrors from Earth are more than they appear. Literally. They could actually be portals to other dimensions. And not all of them are friendly places.
Narcissa Shatterproof, the author of The Paranoid Pioneer's Guide to Interdimensional Travel, she was a great guest. She really broke down the warning signs to look out for. You know, things like distortions in the reflection, cold spots appearing out of nowhere, and shadowy figures.
Yeah, she even gave us some really practical advice on how to prevent a reflection leak. Think of it like this. Our reality and the mirror dimension are separated by this thin barrier. And if that barrier weakens, then things can start to cross over. And it's not always the kind of things you want hanging around your living room.
That's a great way to put it. You know, reflection leak sounds like something straight out of a horror movie. But it's a serious thing if these theories about mirrors are true, especially if you have an antique Earth mirror in your house.
Exactly. And the fact that broken mirrors, especially ones from Earth, are supposed to be even more dangerous, well, that's concerning, to say the least.
Yeah, Professor Photius, our expert on Earth mirrors, explained that breaking a mirror doesn't just shatter the glass, it can actually fracture that dimensional barrier, which makes it easier for those unwanted entities to come through.
Which brings us back to that wyvern attack in the studio. That was a pretty intense visual demonstration, wouldn't you say?
I'll say, even with all my knowledge of interdimensional theory, seeing that wyvern just appear out of that broken mirror was unsettling.
It was pure chaos. Luckily, Narcissa and Professor Photius knew what to do. I still can't believe that church bells and the sound of a space feline were enough to drive it back.
Yeah, it does sound strange, but apparently certain sounds, especially ones with very specific frequencies, can disrupt the dimensional energy those beings are made of. You can think of it like using sound waves to shatter glass. It's a similar idea,
Yep.
just on a much bigger scale and interdimensional.
It's definitely not something you see every day.
Definitely not.
So we've got disappearing stars, possible space-time instability, and mirrors acting as doorways to other dimensions. And we haven't even talked about the alien M constant or the cosmic mirror yet.
You're telling me there's so much to talk about still.
Okay, so let's dive into that strange number that keeps showing up. The alien M constant, or as everyone's calling it, 42. Remember, this is the number that's been popping up in all those tests, the ones they're giving to all those advanced alien species, no matter where they come from or what they're like.
Yeah, it's wild. We're talking about species from all over the galaxy, different languages, different cultures. They evolved in totally different ways. And yet, this number 42 just keeps popping up. It's like they all understand it on some level.
It's like a pattern in a code. But we don't know the code, and we don't know what it means.
Exactly. And what's even weirder is that 42 isn't just in these tests, it's showing up in our own science, too. like in quantum physics equations, communication frequencies, even in how stars form.
So what do you think it means? Could it be like a message from some ancient, super advanced civilization?
That's one theory. This idea that there was a civilization way before us, like a precursor race. And they left these little clues and messages for us, woven into the fabric of reality itself.
That's fascinating. And then there's the whole Hitchhiker's Guide thing. Maybe 42 is the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. Maybe we just haven't figured out the right question yet.
Yeah, it's a cool thought. It really makes you think. But it also shows us how little we really understand. Like maybe we need a whole new way of thinking about it to even figure out what the question could be.
What about that cosmic mirror theory? Could that have something to do with the alien M constant?
Maybe. So the cosmic mirror theory, it talks about this, well, hypothetical structure. It'd be at the very edge of the observable universe, like a boundary, where our reality just reflects back on itself.
So you're saying that the 42 we're seeing is a reflection from this other side, from beyond our universe.
It's possible. Imagine the cosmic mirror. It's not just a wall, it's a connection, a bridge between our universe and something else.
I think I see what you mean. So maybe 42 is a signal, or a message, or even an echo from whatever's on the other side of the cosmic mirror.
Exactly. And that's what makes Zephyr Stardust's disappearance so interesting. Remember, he was checking out some weird energy readings, and he said he'd found the cosmic mirror, and then nothing. We haven't heard from him since.
Yeah, it's scary to think about what might happen to him. What if he crossed over to the other side? Or what if he found something dangerous? And is any of this connected to the vanishing star clusters? It feels like there are just too many unanswered questions.
We're missing a lot of pieces to the puzzle, but the creepiest part of all that was the AI's warning right before the studio went dark, the one about an interdimensional breach.
And then that voice, that creepy voice whispering, the question dot is coming to you.
That gave me chills.
It definitely didn't feel good.
Okay, I think we need a break from all this scary stuff. Let's talk about something a little more fun. Remember Bartholomew Barty Higgins, the author of So You're Rooming with a Zuglorg? Oh yeah, Barty. His book is a must-read for anyone trying to figure out interspecies living situations.
Well, he was back. And this time he brought a special guest, a Zizglorg exchange student. And let's just say things got a little messy.
It can be tough, trying to communicate with other species, even with universal translators. Cultures clash, things get lost in translation. It can lead to some pretty awkward moments.
It can be more than awkward.
Yeah.
Did you know that on Zizlorg Prime, it's polite to throw up a bit of your last meal into someone's hand as a greeting?
I don't think that's going to catch on here on Terra Nova, although it definitely makes for some interesting TV.
I'll say. It definitely made me rethink my criteria for choosing a roommate.
Barty had some crazy stories about his old roommates. There was this Rigellian who could control gravity, and furniture would just float around the apartment. And then there was this Glibglobian who slept in this vat of nutrient slime. I can't imagine what that did to the plumbing. Oh, and let's not forget the being of pure energy, who kept accidentally setting things on fire every time he got emotional.
It's a good thing most leases have clauses about interdimensional damage, but seriously, think about the potential. All the challenges and the possibilities that come with interacting with other species.
You're right. As humanity keeps exploring the galaxy, we're going to meet more and more different species. It's going to be crucial to understand their customs, how they communicate, their needs, if we want to avoid misunderstandings and build good relationships.
Yeah, it's all about communication, respect, and a good sense of humor.
Well said. And as Barty's Zizglorg guest put it, share your food, never back down from a staring contest, and the winner gets the best sleeping spot.
Words to live by.
Definitely.
Speaking of things happening out in the galaxy, we can't forget about Comet Channing and the weather report.
Oh yeah, good old Comet Channing, always out there braving those cosmic storms to keep us up to date on the latest space weather.
There was gravitational lensing, quantum entanglement, even a chance of running into those annoying interdimensional space bees. But the real star of the show was the cosmic schnozzle.
I know it sounds silly, but it's a real thing. It's this distortion in space-time, and it's shaped like a giant nose.
And when the universe gets a runny nose, things get weird. There are random sneezing fits, gravity went haywire, and this faint smell of lavender just filled space.
The universe works in mysterious ways.
You can say that again.
Yeah.
But things got even weirder. When Zephyr Stardust, our amazing field reporter, got caught in a time tornado while he was investigating the cosmic schnozzle.
Time tornadoes, they're fascinating, but they're incredibly dangerous. They're like whirlwinds of time energy, and they can rip through space-time. They create these spots where different times all come together.
So you could be walking down the street one minute, and the next minute you're face to face with a dinosaur or a time-traveling robot.
Pretty much, yeah. Time tornadoes are unpredictable. They can distort time, make you younger, even bring you face to face with beings from other timelines.
And poor Zephyr got caught right in the middle of it. He went through some age regression, met some historical figures, even saw some crazy futuristic tech. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It really shows you the wonders and the dangers of how time works.
But it got even worse. The time tornado merged with the cosmic schnozzle, and they created what Comet Channing called a chrononasal anomaly.
That's a rare event and potentially catastrophic. Think about it. The time energy of a time tornado smashing into the space-time weirdness of a cosmic schnozzle, it's pure chaos.
And that's exactly what happened. There was this huge energy surge, and then the universe sneezed.
And that sneeze could have consequences across all of space-time, like ripples changing history.
Once things settled down, Zephyr came out of the anomaly. But he looked different, like he'd been transported to another time. He looked like a Victorian gentleman with a top hat and a monocle. Even the way he talks was different.
Sounds like the chrononasal anomaly really messed with him. Temporal displacement and physical changes are rare, but they can happen with that much exposure to temporal energy.
We're still trying to figure out where he is in space-time. But before we lost contact, the AI picked up a faint signal. Morse code, of course. It said, "Beware the space weasels. They're coming for your tea, crumpets, and your allergy medicine."
Space weasels. They're definitely a pain, but I don't think they're that dangerous.
Maybe not. But they do have a way of popping up at the worst possible times.
That's for sure.
Okay, we've covered a lot. Vanishing stars, interdimensional mirrors, weird numbers, drama with alien roommates, and a universe-sized sneeze. What are your final thoughts?
Yeah, it's definitely not your average news cycle, but that's what I love about Intergalactic Insider. It embraces all the weird stuff, the amazing stuff, the things that just make you go, huh, huh. But it also makes you think about the universe and our place in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, after all that, what really stood out to you from this episode?
You know, for me, it's that feeling of the unknown. Like, we're constantly reminded that there's so much out there that we just don't get. Like, the alien M constant, what does it even mean? Or the mirror dimension and what might be lurking on the other side. It's humbling and a little scary to realize just how much we don't know.
It's like we're peeking through a tiny crack into this huge uncharted world, and we can only see these little glimpses of things we can barely understand.
And those glimpses that can be beautiful and terrifying all at the same time.
I think that's what keeps bringing us back, that sense of mystery, the possibility of something amazing or something dangerous.
I agree. It's like we're always waiting for the next twist.
And this episode definitely delivered on that front. We're left with so many questions. What happened to Zephyr? What does Stars of the Seeds even mean? And what is this question that's coming for us?
We can only guess at this point, but I bet when we do find out the answers, they'll be even more surprising than we can imagine.
And maybe even scarier. Well, on that note, I highly recommend you check out episode 31 of Intergalactic Insider for yourselves. You won't be disappointed. Just maybe keep a towel handy, in case things get messy.
And maybe a space weasel trap.
Good idea. Till next time, keep looking up. And remember, the universe is a weird and wonderful place, but always be ready for the unexpected.